And she's 15, and it was the mother's boyfriend, and the grandmother just broke down and told me today, and they're really struggling, brother.
Yeah, I think I can help. I think I'm here now.
I told her I felt almost certain, and the grandmother might want to sit in on some of it with you, just because the little girl is a little freaked about being with men. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, we would probably do it virtually.
Yeah. But okay, brother. I am. Let's see.
I think I'm here.
Okay, let me check my email.
Oh, I didn't send it to you though. Sorry.
It's okay.
Let me do that.
We got 12 minutes to act like we know what we're doing. I need a lot of time. So when you tell me, hey, in just a second, Tim's gonna put whatever slide up.
Okay.
Please. I'm not as good as Laura.
That's okay. I just sent it to you.
Get there, but I'm not there yet.
No, I just sent it to you. That's fine.
Let's see here. So we're going to start out with our triangle slide. Am I starting tonight or are you starting tonight?
It doesn't matter, whichever you'd rather.
I'm good with either. What are you feeling?
You start then.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Start webinar. Start. Where am I? There it goes right there. Start webinar. Sign in to start. Okay, brother, it's the circle is spinning. Oh, hell. Okay, that's not it. Let's try again. That's why we do these things, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's making me log in. This is not a good sign.
Uh-oh.
What's our meeting ID?
Is that on the screen here somewhere?
It's like that number 881 something. Do you see it?
I don't see it. I'm on the Zoom screen right now, not on the link.
Okay.
I don't see it on the screen.
Okay. Oh, crap. Okay. So that link you gave me is for somebody who's not the host. Let me just see.
Well, that's the link for me to come in and start it. That's what that link is for. That's what Santo told me it was for.
That's okay. Yeah. So I don't rank as high as you do. I got to be on the other guy's link. So that's okay.
Okay.
Let's see. No, that's not it. Okay, brother. One day we're gonna live our life without running around like wild men. Let's see. Where is the? Hold on, sweetheart. Where is? Okay, let's see. Connecting. Oh, come on. I'm looking.
Okay.
Come on now. Okay. All right. No.
You want me to send an email to Tim, to Santo, asking him for help? He could come.
No, let's give me just 2 more minutes here. I think I can.
Okay.
I want us to be self-sufficient, but she sent me the link, and I thought it's in one of her emails. The problem is, all of a sudden, I've got 30 emails back and forth with Laura. So I gotta find it.
Oh yeah, I had to find the right one too.
Here we go. Zoom webinar host, maybe. Maybe. Join webinar. Let's try this. Brother, we're in a little trouble here.
Uh-oh.
Can you email Santo?
Yeah.
And tell him to email me the link to get in,
Okay.
or email you the link and you can forward it to me, however it works.
Yeah.
I just hit something here to launch. It might, hang on, it might have let me in. Why are we recording?
What?
You know, we're recording.
Yeah, it started automatically. She probably said it that way.
Okay.
So to dummy proof it.
Oh, well, that's probably not a bad idea. Okay, brother. Let's see here. Show captions. We got a lot of feedback.
Well, it's because I've got you on the phone.
Okay, let me turn the phone off.
Okay, me too. Can you hear me, Tim?
Okay, brother, can you hear me now?
I can. I
Okay.
can't see you.
You can't?
No.
Well, wonder why.
I don't know. Hi, Heather. If you can hear me, I'm Alex Loyd, and welcome. We are trying to get our tech in line, and we're working on it. Welcome. We'll be right back with you in a minute. If you can hear me.
I got you. Can you hear me, Alex?
Yeah, I can see you. Your face is kind of dark, though.
Let me turn some lights on. We're 5 minutes out, aren't we?
6, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, brother, we're going to be okay.
All right.
Now, I'm supposed to have an email with all the slides that we're supposed to use tonight.
Okay.
Do you happen to have that email with all the slides we're using tonight?
I don't.
Okay, well.
I do have the slide with my stuff on it just because I wanted to be able to, you know, pull it up and read it myself, not just, you know, on the screen. But I don't have yours.
Okay.
And I can't pull mine up. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, we'll get it. We'll get it.
Hi, Kathy Christian. Welcome. I'm Alex Loyd. We're trying to straighten out a couple of technical difficulties, but we will be right with you. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Okay.
I hope you had a good day, Tim.
Yeah, man, just crazy busy, but
Yeah,
that's the way it's supposed to be, though, right?
that's right. Welcome, everyone. I'm Alex Loyd. If you can hear me, thank you for coming. We're trying to work out a couple of technical difficulties, but we will be right with you. Thank you for coming. Think we've got some great stuff for you tonight.
Let's see, Alex, Monday was the, what was it?
17th,
I'm trying
17th.
to find, Laura sent me an email of the things we would need tonight.
Uh-huh.
And we rehearsed it on Monday.
Monday. Yeah, that might be the 16th. I'm not sure.
Here we go. Okay. Okay, brother. Let's see here.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. We will be right with you. We're trying to straighten out a couple of technical things. I think we've got some good stuff for you tonight. We'll be right with you. Thank you for coming.
Alex, what's your screen show?
It shows you.
Okay.
A little bitty at the top.
That's not what it's supposed to be showing right now. Okay. All right. I got to find you. Where are you at? Okay, there you are. Okay. Now, tell me what you see now.
Same thing.
What about now?
Same thing.
You don't see our triangle?
Nope.
Okay.
Does that make me a square?
Yeah, maybe.
Bad joke.
Whew. Okay, brother.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. Dr. Tim and I are trying to work out a couple of technical issues. We think we've got some good stuff for you tonight. Thank you for coming. We'll be right with you.
Okay.
Our technical director is on vacation and was not able to be here tonight. So Dr. Adair courageously is trying to figure this out.
Hey, is this where you blame everything on me?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay, brother. So I've got our exhibits.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them.
What about now?
No. And we've got to be able to put the link over on in the chat too. If we can't do that, then people can't respond.
Okay.
But you may not know how to do that. I don't know.
Well, I think it's obvious. I don't. Let's see. Okay. So she told me if I had that up on my background, all I had to do is click on it and it would come on board here. Okay. You've disabled the screen sharing. Will you enable screen sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's your computer, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I think that's what screen.
Yeah. So that didn't help at all. Okay. So undo that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to undo it.
You did it. There we
Okay.
go. Okay. Okay, brother. Let's see here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Dr. Adair and I are trying to work out some technical issues. Our tech person is on vacation. So we took a week break to figure out the technical issues, but our technical person went on vacation. So we're trying, actually, Dr. Adair is trying to figure this out. Unfairly, it is not his fault. Sorry. But anyway, we'll be right with you. Sorry for the delay. If we can't figure this out in a second, we'll forget it and just talk to you.
Okay, brother. I'm going to try this one more time. And
Okay.
if you can't see this slide, we're going to have to do this without slides.
Okay.
Okay, now on my computer, I see our triangle. Do you see that?
No, I don't.
Okay. Alex, I'm sorry, brother. I don't know.
No, it's okay. Let's just go ahead and let's
So the biggest thing is the information, and we'll sure leave some contact stuff for anybody who if anybody needs help, we'll get them some help. So, okay.
Right.
Well, brother, here we are again. Which is our 4th session that we've done together now.
I think so.
Something like that. So we should actually be able to use the slides, but our apologies, everybody. But listen, don't throw out the message just because the messengers are stumbling. We've got some good information for you tonight, and I want everybody to benefit from this. And I twisted Dr. Alex's arm a little bit. My topics are never as juicy as his topics, but I got one tonight that I think will help a lot of people who are on this call, and a lot of people that you guys can direct to the archive video of this. Very simply, I want to help you guys with, I wanted to wear a camouflage shirt today, Alex. I thought the perfect thing for this is my upper GI session. So I should have had on an army shirt, right? But so many people struggle with acid reflux and GERD and Barrett's esophagitis and spasmodic dysphonia and all of those things. And I've got a boatload of information. And guys, we don't have to struggle with this. This is one of those mysteries that we don't feel like is a mystery at all. We feel like we got this thing solved. And so I'm not just a doctor for this. I'm also a patient. So matter of fact, here's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. I've taken 2 or 3 of these today, and I don't have any reflux. And I've got a Zoom malfunctioning that stressed me out. I've got a partner in crime here that threw me to the wolves, that made me be the Zoom guy. And I still am managing my stomach acid. So I want to teach you guys how to manage your stomach acid. Alex, I'm totally kidding with you. I love being here with you.
Oh, I know.
But we want to jump right into it. So guys, here's something we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and I want to kind of replay this conversation because I think it has merit. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about that physiologically we're exactly the same as we were when we were cave people. And when we were cave people, we came out of our cave and we reached up to grab our apple from the apple tree. And while we were reaching for our apple, we looked around, and all of a sudden we were in the shade, and there was a dinosaur standing there looking at us. So we went from getting breakfast to becoming breakfast. And when we're becoming breakfast, we don't need to spend any of our body's energy making digestive enzymes to break down our food, because we should not be eating. We should run. We should run as fast as we can and use all of our energy for living another day. So most of us are at a schedule today. And for those of you logged in early and saw me and Alex stumbling over this Zoom thing, we were talking about our days today. So my day started at 5:45 today. It ended at about 1:15 last night. And I don't know how many people I saw from how many states, but very busy. So I've been running from the dinosaur all day long. And then I get to try to stumble through this Zoom thing. I'm still running from the dinosaur, but no reflux. And so part of that is strategy. And I want to give you guys some free strategies so that you can manage your stomach. Now realize, if I had gone on my way to work this morning and I went to Cracker Barrel, and nothing wrong with Cracker Barrel. If you guys like Cracker Barrel, that's great. But if I would have had bacon and sausage and eggs and cheese and pancakes and biscuits, and I would have had this enormous breakfast.
Making me hungry.
Right. And then I had to run from the dinosaur. I wouldn't be able to digest, because all of my energy would be running from the dinosaur, not digesting my food. So I want you guys to have the mindset that not only do you take this supplement and you do this food and you do this with your diet, but what I do in the morning for breakfast, and matter of fact, I always brag about this with my patients, I don't do anything wrong, Alex, for breakfast. Do you know how I can say that?
How?
I don't do anything.
Aha!
I don't do anything wrong because I don't do anything. And so that's the only way that I can guarantee.
Unless doing nothing is wrong.
No. So I'm resting my organs in an intermittent fast. And so I have nothing for about 16 or 17 hours every day. And then at lunch, I eat enough not to faint in the afternoon, but just barely, because I'm still running from some dinosaurs. So I just want a little snack. And then tonight at dinner, I think my beautiful wife is bringing me lamb chops. but I'm not running from the dinosaur after having my lamb chops. I'm going to grill him over the fire and probably bite him too. So what I want you guys to realize is when you're running and going 100 miles an hour, I want you to eat very, very, very little for your breakfast and lunch. Maybe do nothing wrong because you do nothing. And so if we eat a big meal and then we run, we're digesting with very few enzymes, and we'll have very, very, very spotty, incomplete digestion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I just talked to a gentleman today, and he's running harder than I am. I work in my own clinic, and so the guy who makes all the rules there that I have to follow, I have to answer to him, and he's a knucklehead. But I can kind of go at my own pace. This poor guy's running a whole department, works in a local hospital here in Nashville, and they're understaffed. So his 12-hour days turn into 14, 15, 16-hour days. He's running like a madman, and he's having a bunch of burning in his stomach. He's having some bloating. He's having some gas formation, and he's uncomfortable. So he's taken what we call PPIs, like Prilosec and Protonics. And PPIs are proton pump inhibitors. So Alex, the proton that they're talking about is hydrogen. So when we form hydrochloric acid, it's like the preacher marrying the guy and the girl. If hydrogen grows up one day and meets a nice chloride girl, then we get together and we have hydrochloric acid. Well, if you block the union, then they never get together and you don't have enough acid. When you don't have enough acid, you don't break down your food. So in essence, you're running from the dinosaur again. Now, here's the kicker. Most everybody who has burning in their stomach feels like they have too much acid. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. If my fist is the amount of food in your stomach, and we have enzymes come down and completely digest that food is not very acidic after the mixture is completely digested. But if that mixture has half as many enzymes that start that reaction, that mixture half digested is much lower pH and more acidic, and it burns us. So this is counterintuitive. We have to have more acid to have less acid, okay? And when we end up with less acid, we end up with more burning because it's a stronger acid than we would normally produce. Alex, did I explain that right?
I think you did. Yeah. The problem is not acid. The problem is we need more acid at a certain time.
Yeah, when we're running from the dinosaur, we're not making acid. Almost everybody on this call tonight is running from the dinosaur. So here's the kicker though. They probably ate the apple before they took off running, and we can't digest if we have no acid. So here's what happens. Remember we talked about acidophilus in our weed feed and seed? Acidophilus is a good bacteria in the gut that needs acid, okay? And so like we talked about, audiophiles just love music. If we say acidophilus, if we pronounce it a little different, if we call it an acidophile, acidophiles love acid. So here's what happens. When we don't have acidophilus, the good bacteria in our gut, then the bad bacteria gets to overgrow. So we have overgrowth of bad pathogens in our gut when we have low acid. So our upper GI, I'll give you a salute, our upper GI problems become lower GI problems. And that's what we discussed at our previous meeting. But when we start giving people acid, we have to be careful because we have all these people who are taking antacids. And you can't go with more acid and less acid at the same time. So there's some strategies there. And then here's what's very, very, very clear. When we have people who have very low acid, then they have a very, very incomplete tightening of the sphincter at the top of the stomach. So if we have low acid, we don't tighten up at the top of the stomach, and we leak the contents up into our esophagus. And when we leak the contents up into our esophagus, we will end up having burning up in the esophagus. Now, the cure for that, Alex, is good for everybody on this call. So I've got two things I want to present tonight very clearly. What I'm about to tell you guys, everybody on this call can have a bunch of it. I don't care if you're on Prilosec. I don't care if you're on Pepsid. I don't care if you're taking apple cider vinegar or enzymes, or you have an ulcer, or you don't have an ulcer, or any of those things. Alex, I think Santo has clicked in here. If you want to respond to him, he might come to our rescue here. But so whoever is on this call tonight, you absolutely can have what we call DGL lozenges. Alex, I'm gonna hold this up here since we don't have our picture. Can you read that?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, these DGL wafers, we don't swallow these. We suck on these like lozenges. And what they do is the licorice root naturally has a glycerin layer, like a plastic sleeve on it, that keeps you from getting the licorice root, and it won't protect your esophagus. But the deglycerized licorice root takes the wrapping off of the licorice root, and the licorice root coats and protects our esophageal lining in the top of the stomach with licorice. And when it does that, the acids don't burn us anymore. And if we do that day after day after day after day, we can get a little better, a little better, a little better, really good, really, really good, nearly perfect, and boom, we're not burning anymore after several weeks. So if you've been on Prilosec or Protonix or Pepsid or the other 115 for years and years and years, and you're going, man, I'm scared to death to get off of that stuff because I'll burn. This is a way that you coat and soothe and rebuild your lining so that we can start to get that prepared. Now, you can do that concurrently with your medication. And Alex, go ahead. Did you have something?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. So what we need to make certain of is we don't necessarily want people who are taking a lot of medication, especially in a format like this where we're not having direct ability to manage each and every case. I'm not going to tell you, hey, listen, stop taking the other prescription that the doctor told you about. But here's what I would like for you guys to look up. Originally, when Prilosec came out and some of these PPI drugs came out, the recommendation was to take the medication for 12 to 16 weeks and let the burning stop, and let's let the tract calm down and heal and correct itself. So people got to the end of 12 or 16 weeks and they quit taking the medication, and they did okay for a day or two or 3 or 10, and then the burning came back. So remember though, the medication was supposed to be for 12 to 16 weeks. And think about this. If we don't have enough acid, then we don't have acid ophilus that thrives. So then the competition bacteria will flourish. So we get out of balance in our gut. Also, there's a bunch of studies right now, and they're preliminary, but we'll see what happens. I think I know the outcome of these. We have to have a certain amount of acid to absorb calcium. So if you start to look at what health conditions are related to low calcium, that's one of 70 minerals, right? What conditions are just that one? We're getting people that are having pathologic fractures from osteoporosis. You have to have acid to absorb calcium. So maybe today we're beating heartburn with those medications when we're staying on them too long, but are we getting SIBO and gut pathogens? Are we getting osteoporosis? Are we getting arrhythmias for magnesium deficiency not being absorbed? Are we having muscle cramping? Are we robbing Peter to pay Paul? And so sometimes you're getting the negative, and the negative because the drug was not intended to take that long. Now, here's the other thing. If we're not acidifying our food mixtures, we're not breaking it down, we're not able to absorb it. So I see people who are 100, 150 pounds, sometimes 200 pounds overweight. And Alex, they'll be 200 pounds overweight and still be malnourished because their habits are so bad dietarily that they have lots of reflux and acid. So they block their absorption, they block their symptom. But now, even though they're 100 pounds overweight, they're malnourished. Is that unbelievable?
Yeah, it is.
So the long-term solution is we need more acid. Now, so I told you guys, every single person out here can take 2 to 4 of these a day and buffer and soothe and calm their GI tract. Let me get where.
Put it in front of your face. There you go. Or lower than so they can see your mouth.
There we go. The ball is more important to look at than
Yeah,
me.
there you go.
So everybody can have that one. Now,
hey Tim, did you want me to share my screen? I can show it.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, let me do that. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of our tech people, the one that's not on vacation, has come. I sent him an email after hours and he was kind enough to come. Thank you, Santo.
Yeah.
Santo, I owe you a personal favor and I'll make good on that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you can tutor me on this so you don't have to do this anymore. Okay, so this is the product here, guys. This is absolutely fearless. Now, look at the price on this. This is so cost effective. And Alex, this is probably one of the worst money makers in all of natural medicine, because most people have to take 1 or 2 bottles of this, and then they have to take. So I have a bottle of this, and I'll see if it's expired. Here's my personal bottle, and it's probably expired. I opened this one so long ago. Oh, this is the new one. I opened this one so long ago that I only take it every now and then if I've just had a really, really busy day and I'm running from the dinosaur. So I'll take 2 or 3 of these in a row over the course of 2 or 3 weeks. And then I may go 2 years before I have to do it daily. I just take them as needed every blue moon. So everybody can take this to coat and soothe. Now, Santo, would I be pushing my luck if I got you to give me the other slide that has the Panzyme HCl on it?
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Thank you, sir. Okay, now guys, here's the thing. We keep talking about that coats and soothes and protects us from that acid erosion. Now we have to have acid. Santo, the product's called Panzyme-HCl.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, and so guys, this one is actually more acid. So you sure wouldn't want to take this with your Prilosec or with your Protonics or whatever. But the goal is to increase your acid. And as we increase your acid, we break down our food, we get rid of acid. And so, we always have our session every week where I confess my sins to Dr. Alex. So Dr. Alex, Father Alex, we'll give you another title. I'm gonna confess. If I would have known more as a 25 or 30-year-old, and chances are we don't have any of those people on the call tonight because it's all of us seasoned veterans who have reflux. But if I would have known then what I know now, I would have taken one of these after every steak dinner. And when I snuck and had a cheeseburger, I would have taken 2 of these. And had I known that, and I took this, I would have never, ever had the temptation to take Prilosec or Pepsid or whatever. The more acid you can take in the form of these betaine hydrochloride supplements, the less heartburn you're going to have. So here's the kicker. How do we go from being absolutely crippled with this condition to being bulletproof and fearless? And that's where I want you. I want you bulletproof and fearless. We have to get this in your system if you've been running around on acid blockers. Now, the best way to do it is to start out with your tract coated and soothed. And Alex, this is a good time for me to give one of my freebies, or very narrow freebies. So one of the free things you guys can do to manage your acid erosion is just like we deal with sunburn. if you go out on the lake or the beach and you get sunburned, you come home and you talk your spouse into putting aloe vera on the back of your neck and your shoulders, that aloe vera will coat and soothe and help you to repair at a faster rate. And when you drink aloe vera juice before you go to bed and you lay down horizontal, the aloe vera juice will leak up through that sphincter that's not working because you don't have any acid, and it will go up in there and it will coat and soothe. So instead of being miserable every night when you lay in bed, we'll play your dysfunction. So we'll do aloe vera juice at night. We'll do the licorice root when you're vertical, and we'll get your track healed and soothed and corrected. And Alex, that's not completely a freebie, because a half a gallon of that lasts about 2 months costs $6 or $7 at Walmart, but that's pretty close to free. And you can do it for pennies on the day. And I like to have everybody, depending on the size of the individual, do about 5 to 10 ounces of aloe vera juice. Now, aloe vera juice has a little bite to it, and I'll put an ounce or two of water in it. And I like to put it in the freezer for 2 or 3 minutes before I sip on it and knock it down over about 10 or 15 minutes. It is absolutely like drinking a fire extinguisher, and it will calm and soothe. So do those 2 strategies to buffer your esophagus. And then when we're absolutely sure we're not burning, then we're going to do this supplement that Santo has put on the screen for us. This hydrochloric acid, we want to do 1 or 2 of these. And the active ingredient, I think it's listed as the #1 ingredient on the back of the list. Actually, it's down closer to the bottom. It's got 178 milligrams of betaine hydrochloride, and then it's got a few other enzymes in it that help you break down your protein and your carbohydrate. And what we need to do is we got to get this in there so that we can break our food down, so that we can absorb our nutrients and our bodies have the raw material to rebuild and heal. You cannot rebuild if you can't break your food down. And so for you young people out there, please, I had a 29-year-old in today, and I've gotten him off of Pepsid in 2 weeks, and he's been on it for 4 years, and he's absolutely doing way better than he's done in 4 years. And remember, he was supposed to be on that drug for 12 to 16 weeks. Well, he went a little far, and 3.5 years too much on that drug. He's in absolutely malnourishment syndrome. And so we've got some hypothyroid problems, and we've got some other problems, and we're going to fix them all. And we're going to give him the nutrients that he can rebuild. But you got to get, this is your goal. This is where you got to get to. So when you get off the drug, and the best way to get off the drug is to taper. So check with your doctor or your practitioner who put you on that drug. Typically, they'll scale you down and you go to half as much, and then you go to 1/4 as much, but you do it in 2 to 3 week tapers. So if you're taking 20 milligrams of Pepsid twice a day, you would ask your practitioner, but they should be somewhere. And I'm not giving you the prescriptive advice, but I believe what I notice is they usually will say, well, if you're taking 20 twice a day, don't go cold turkey, please. Reduce that. And the schedules are something like, instead of 20 and 20, 10 and 10, and then down from there. So every 2 to 3 weeks, you make a baby step down. And then when you get down, the day after you're not on your acid drugs, you take acid, because remember, it's acid that keeps you from having acid. Okay. So very first day, I'm scared to death. I want to repair. I want to get my building blocks. I want to get better, 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 better. Instead of blocking, I got to take about 5 bites of food. I take this pill. I take the rest of my dinner and I bury it. If it burns my stomach, I'm not ready for it. If it doesn't burn my stomach, I'm going to do one at dinner also, okay? Right in the middle of the meal. And then I'm going to do that for a week or 2. And then I might actually even take 2 per meal. If it burns your stomach, it's too much. If it doesn't burn your stomach, keep doing it. Let's get your acid up. Let's get your building blocks. Let's repair, and let's get all the nutrients we need for the body to heal itself. And so that is, oh, and by the way, this one is not something you're going to be on for 3 or 4 years. We're not nearly the businessmen that the PPI guys and Big Pharma are. In 2 or 3 or 4 months, you're off of this. And I definitely take 1 or 2 of these on Thanksgiving when I overeat, but I don't take these every day. I only take it if I have a really big meal, or I'm running from the dinosaur and I need to make sure I have some enzymes that will help break down my food, since I'm not able to do it by myself. So Alex, that's my contributions to nervous stomach, heartburn, and reflux. And I'm sure we're going to have some questions, and I'll be happy to answer those at the end. But brother, I'm going to turn it over to you. And Santo, thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Tim. Welcome, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're doing the best we can. Our tech person went on vacation. Our second tech person came after hours to help us tonight when I emailed them, because we were having difficulties, but we will get this straightened out. So sorry. All right. One thing I want to tell you about what Tim said is that when I first met Tim, it was not about working together. It was not about what I do. When I first met Tim, it was as his patient. And the reason I was his patient was one thing: acid reflux. I had raging acid reflux, to the point that Hope can tell you, my wife, I literally was worried I was going to get cancer of the esophagus, because my acid reflux was so bad every single day. And when I went to Vanderbilt Hospital and they diagnosed me and put me on heavy prescription medication for that, they said the same thing. I didn't have cancer of the esophagus, but they said if that continued, that might be the result. So yeah, I didn't have it. That was a fear I had that I didn't need to have. But a lot of people do, because it hurts so bad, that burning, that you think over time this has got to be doing something terrible. And it is. And Tim addressed it. One of the things at the end, one of the big deals about this is you're not getting the nutrition from your food when you have this. And over time, you become malnourished, and from that can come anything. It reminds me a lot. You probably heard me say, if you're a follower of mine, about Dr. Bruce Lipton, a cellular biologist from Stanford Medical School, that every cell you have at any given time is either open or closed. All right. And if it's open, it's doing the job it's supposed to do. It's growing, it's reproducing, it's cooperating with your body and all that stuff. But if it's closed, it can't get oxygen, it can't get nutrition, it can't heal, it can't get new energy. And as the energy gets lower and lower and lower and lower, kind of as the desperation thing before it dies, the odds go up through the roof that it will manifest a disease gene. Okay. And I'm not trying to scare you or anything. It's just the truth. Okay. Well,
hey, Alex, can I add to something right there?
Yeah.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So real quick, guys, typically he was talking about Barrett's esophagitis and esophageal cancer. The pathway for cancer is typically irritation produces inflammation, inflammation produces ulceration, ulceration produces cancer. You don't go from day one to cancer. So you got to stop the irritation long enough to stop the inflammation, long enough to stop the ulceration. And then, so our method should make you fearless. If you're not getting irritated and inflamed, you don't have to worry about the other. Cancer in your esophagus doesn't sneak up on you. You feel it coming. So anyway, I wanted to make sure we want to make them fearless, Alex.
Yeah. And one good example of what can happen is like if your cell is closed, you can drink 4 gallons of water a day and still be dehydrated because your cells are closed. They can't take in the hydration. Okay. And I talk to so many people who that happens to. They're saying, how can I be dehydrated when I'm drinking all this water? I'm drinking tons of water because your cells are closed. They can't hydrate. You've got to get the cells open first, then you don't need 4 gallons. You need, 2-3 liters a day, and that's it. Okay. Well, if you have acid reflux, you're not getting the nutrition that you're taking, whether that's food or actual tablets or whatever it is of nutrition. If you have acid reflux, you're not getting the benefit of all of that. So you think, oh, I'm eating good food, I'm taking all this great nutrition, I'm going to be healthy and heal and all this sort of thing. And then you wonder how 2 or 3 years later, you're getting less and less healthy. This could be one of the reasons why. Okay. And I'm thrilled to tell you that after my first meeting with Dr. Adair, see, I'd just been to Vanderbilt Hospital. They diagnosed me, put me on heavy prescription acid reflux medication. All right. And they told me, you're probably going to be on this for a good while. All right. So open-ended, just we'll see. But to me, it sounded like a long time. Dr. Tim diagnosed me and he put me on this stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, that was over 25 years ago. I have not had acid reflux since. Okay? Period. That's one of the reasons I love him. That's one of the reasons he was the only one I would do this with. Okay? But I just wanted to share with you some real world experience with what he's talking about from a patient. And that was me. Okay? All right. Santo, if there's any way to bring up my information sheet for tonight, that would be great. If you can't bring it up, I'll just tell them what it is. I'll wait for a second to see if you can get that up. And ladies and gentlemen, if you remember night 1, and this is from me, Dr. Adair can tell you his opinion, but in my opinion, we're here for a few things. We're here to save you a bunch of money because medical expense is the #1 cause of bankruptcy at about 64%. Number 2, we want to give you back 10 to 15 years of your healthy lifespan that the studies say stress is stealing away from us. All right. Number 3, we want to eliminate the #1 complaint of people everywhere in the world. What's that? Pain. Physical, mental, emotional, structural, chemical pain. All right. And we usually show a triangle when we can get our exhibits to come up. And it's a triangle that's very familiar to chiropractors because they use that triangle all the time. The triangle, of course, has 3 sides, and the 3 sides are structure, chemistry, and emotion. All right. But here's the deal. Psychologists can't deal with structure and usually not chemistry either. Chiropractors cannot legally deal with emotional, and a lot of them do not deal with chemical. All right. We want to have a one place that you can get all of it for pain, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, whether it's structural, chemical, or emotional. Okay. So that's why we're here. All right. Now, what I'm going to tell you about tonight, you're probably going to roll your eyes. And Santo, I'm assuming you can't pull up the exhibit because it's not up there yet. So I guess I'll tell them what it is. If the exhibit comes up, somebody holler at me because I've had to pull up a different document and I can't see the screen anymore. So Tim, holler at me if that comes up. All right. What I want to talk to you about tonight is what I believe is first of all, let me give you a freebie. All right. Let me give you a freebie first. This has nothing to do with what I'm going to show you in a minute. But this 2 weeks ago, we didn't meet last week because we were upgrading our technology. Did us a lot of good, didn't it? But anyway, 2 weeks ago, we talked about lower GI. Tonight, we're talking about upper GI. Well, this is something you can use for either one. It's completely free. And in about 6 minutes, typically, or 9 minutes, you can get significant relief. All right. And it's so simple. All right. Here it is. You put your hands together, kind of like this. All right. here's right, left hand, and I'm just sort of overlapping one onto the other, but not completely. I've still got them separated a little bit, all right? And then if I want to do lower GI, let me see if I can figure this out by tilting my computer. If I want to do lower GI, here's my chest, okay? So I'm going to come right under my rib cage. This is right under my rib cage, all right? And what I'm going to do with both hands is I'm going to rub in a clockwise motion. Now, this may not look clockwise to you in the camera, but I'm going clockwise for me, okay? All right, so the camera may reverse it, but this is clockwise for me, all right? So you go clockwise for you in a circle like this for 2 to 3 minutes, okay? Then you switch and you put your bottom hand in a fist under your open hand, and you go another 2 to 3 minutes clockwise, kind of pushing your fist down into your stomach a little bit, okay? 2 or 3 minutes of that. After 2 or 3 minutes of that, you're going to put your fingers out, almost like a claw, and put that under your hand and kind of dig a little bit with your fingers in a clockwise motion for another 2 to 3 minutes. Now, you can also do the exact same thing on the upper GI, except you don't have to go to the fist or the fingers, okay? It probably wouldn't do a lot of good on your chest cavity anyway. So just keep them kind of stacked like that and go in a clockwise motion for, 6 to 9 minutes. And it should calm it down some, okay? Enough for you to be comfortable. But you don't want to, you need to heal it long term, okay? Not just get temporary relief. That's temporary relief, okay? All right, so that's a freebie. Now, what I wanted to tell you about tonight really quick, and you're going to roll your eyes, okay? So I've got to prepare you before I tell you, because you're going to roll your eyes and you're going to think, I've heard about this 1,000 times. I've already evaluated it. I've already made my decision about it. So that's old news. Okay. I know you're going to think that, most of you, all right? You need to put that over to the side and open your mind for about 3 minutes, okay, to reevaluate this issue and this thing I'm going to tell you about that I know you've heard about before. Okay, now, why am I saying that? Because I believe this is probably the #1 healthiest, most healing plant. I believe it's a miracle plant on planet Earth. I believe that God made this and put it here for us. And it is, I believe, at least as far as we've discovered so far, the #1 miracle substance on planet Earth. And I'll tell you how I first found out about this. I was talking to a gentleman that I was introduced to, a highly successful gentleman, multi-millionaire. And a few years ago, he was diagnosed with 3 terminal diseases all at the same time. He went through all kinds of medical care and they sent him home to die. Apologize. We've done everything we can do. We're so sorry, but we'll make you comfortable, but we can't do anything else and shouldn't, because it won't help. All right. So go be comfortable until you die. Well, he didn't have anything to lose. Okay. So he started taking massive doses of this, what I'm about to tell you about. And about 2.5 years later, he not only didn't have any of those 3 diseases, he had no health problem at all. Okay. So at that time, and this was about 6 years ago, I started taking this. And my entire life up till then, if something was going around, the flu or whatever, I would get it. if there were 100 people and only 5 of them got it, I would be one of the 5. All right. I got everything that came around. Okay. Well, 6 years ago, I started taking this and my health has gotten better and better ever since. And the last time I went to the doctor and they took my blood and did all the fluids and everything, my doctor said, and this is the truth, okay? He said, Alex, I don't know what you're doing, but a teenager would be jealous of your numbers, okay? And I feel that. I feel like I'm 20, okay? I feel way better than I did 3 years ago. I feel way better than I did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, okay? And yeah, I believe the healing codes and trilogy and all of that has helped tremendously, but I also believe this is a secret that I would give up anything I take before I would give up this, all right? Maybe that's all you need to know. If you trust me, I would give up anything before I give this up. All right, so let me tell you about it really quick, all right? There are more receptors in your body for this than anything else on planet Earth. Hear that? There's got to be a reason for that, right? This is the only substance on Earth that we know of now that has a positive healing effect on all 350 body systems at the same time. It's the only thing we know of that'll do that, okay? Most things you take to affect one system. This affects 350, every system you have, micro and macro, all at the same time. It reduces inflammation. It induces homeostasis into the body. It typically improves sleep dramatically. Some people say it's the best pain reliever on the planet. All right. Just a few years ago, there were veterans that were complaining, doing interviews, saying the VA will give me all kinds of heavy painkillers to the point that I'm addicted to them, but they won't give me this, and this works better than the painkillers. And they were talking about what I'm sharing with you tonight. Your body makes this, all righty? Your body makes it in 3 situations: when you meditate, when you pray, meditate or pray, in breast milk, and when you have runner's high. Your body is producing this, okay? All right. There is a government site, and we're gonna post all this with the call, okay? It's called www.projectcbd.org. www.projectcbd.org. This is a website that is owned by the United States government, and there are literally thousands of clinical studies about CBD. And basically, they say it will do miracles on almost anything that you can name. Now, why am I making such a big deal about this when this was the rage 2 or 3 years ago and it's died down now? The reason it's died down is because there's no governmental oversight for the most part governing CBD. Well, what does that mean? How does it affect it? It means you've got hundreds of CBDs from China that are, number 1, illegal. Number 2, they're either full of a bunch of junk that you don't want in your body, or there's like 1 drop of CBD in the entire thing, okay? Or it's made in somebody's garage, or, I mean, there's no quality control at all right? So I'd been approached by nutritional companies for 20 years wanting me to carry their nutrition. I'd not ever carried a single nutrition, and haven't, except for this, really, since from the time I started. All right. So when I decided to carry this, I had one requirement. I wanted it to be the best in the world at the best price in the world. Okay. So I manufacture this myself. It's from Colorado. Okay. And here's the deal. What I'm talking about is not CBD. It's the best CBD in the world, in my opinion. All right. Now, why do I say that? Number one, we manufacture it. It's proprietary to us. You can't get it anywhere else. It's organic. It's full spectrum, which means the whole plant, and is a big deal. It's nanotechnology, which makes it up to 10 times more absorbable and effective than any oil. And ours is water soluble, which makes it like another 10 times more absorbable and effective than any oil. It is 6 times more absorbable than pharmaceutical grade CBD. It is up to 30 times more absorbable than the oils. In other words, you would need about 20 bottles of high grade CBD oil to equal the effectiveness of one of our bottles. Okay. And let me tell you, you take this CBD, our CBD, the best CBD in the world, is 30 times more effective. Your health, I believe, and what I've seen with people all over the world, is going to get better and better and better and better. And that includes acid reflux. It includes stress. Yes, it includes emotional issues for sure. Okay. When your stress goes down, your health comes up, your emotions get better, guys. What percentage of the time? 100% of the time. Okay. So this is one thing. There may not be very many things we will ever share that we can say this about, but this is one thing that does emotional, chemical, and structural, all three. It is 100% natural, organic, God made it. Okay. So that's it. And this is the only place in the world you can get it. And I understand if you've tried CBD and said, I don't really see any big deal. I didn't either until I started taking one. But by the way, when I first started taking it, one as effective as ours didn't even exist. So I was having to take like 10, 15 times daily doses in order to get those results. You don't have to do that. We've created it now where you can just take a regular dose and get great results. So that's it for me, Tim.
Before we let everybody answer questions, I wanted to question a little bit here. And I totally agree with you. I'm partnering with you because I'm absolutely lousy at dealing with emotional issues. And so I get people that are better with depression. If I got a guy who's got migraines and heartburn and insomnia, and I fix all three of those, brother, I don't know anything about what you know about depression, but if I get rid of his pain, I get him sleeping, and I have helped him mood wise by just helping him with what I can help him with. So this is phenomenal. But now let me ask you to coach us a little bit on this, because honestly, I'm hyper conservative. I haven't done much CBD at all. So you got to teach me this. What time of the day, and tell me how you take CBD.
Yeah, I take a dose is half a dropper full. You can also get it in gummies, but a dose is half a dropper full, and it comes in a little bottle. Very simple to do.
What time of the day?
I do it in the morning, first thing, just like what you said. So I get I either get a little glass of water and just put a half a dropper full of CBD in and drink it. Or like you were saying a couple of weeks ago, in my cup of coffee
Yeah.
I put a half a dropper of CBD in, and I drink coffee black, which means it tastes terrible anyway. So I can't even tell the difference. All right. So I'll either put it in my coffee or in about this much water, and just one little chug, it's over.
So
And
not a
that's it.
sedative effect, or it doesn't make you sleepy.
Oh, no. But it is awesome for pain. It is awesome for pain.
Okay.
In fact, again, a lot of veterans say it works better for them than the
Yeah.
Oxy and Hydro and stuff like that.
No, I work with a lot of athletes, and I've definitely heard that too.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So let's see if we have any questions. Tim, can you look at the chat at the Q&A? There's one for you there from Jamie, I think. You may want to just type that in or whatever. Let's see. I'm reading a question people typed in, everybody.
Good brother,
Both
if
of
I
these
can
are
find it, I'll
Both
try.
of these are for you. All three of them are for you.
Okay. Brother, I can't see the questions. I hate
Okay,
hit me with them. I'll try my best.
okay. First question from Jamie. I don't take acid blockers, but I do take a DGL capsule and a pancreatic enzyme with betaine hydrochloride capsule twice a day before a meal. Don't have esophageal burning, but I do get frequent pressure in my stomach that makes me burp. Does this sound like an acid problem? Also, are there any side effects to be aware of taking the aloe vera juice?
So I've done aloe vera juice for a lot of years with a lot of patients, and that's
Me
one of
too, by the way.
Yeah, that's one of the few things that we feel really solid about. No side effects. Now, here's the thing: I have people take 5 to 10 ounces, and we don't worry about side effects with that at all. If you take double that, it has a laxative effect. So if that's something you desire, then that's fantastic. But if you don't want that laxative effect or don't need it, you better stay down between 5 and 10 ounces. Now, the burning situation, I would just ask if we skip a pancreatic betaine hydrochloride enzyme and we don't have burning and we take it, we do, that sounds like we're getting into an ulcer there. And I use a ton. Matter of fact, Alex, if we could do a whole webinar on managing ulcers, and we do a fantastic thing with ulcers. I have people real simple, eat a serving every single day, as much as you can, of okra. However, raw pickled, if righteous cornmeal and olive oil, if you need to do it that way, okra will heal up the ulcer in the gut. And then if that gets rid of the burning, we got a little hint of an ulcer there. That's my best guess on that.
Okay, and Pacamama is your name, I think, or your handle. We used to call that from CB days. Most of you don't remember. The link to the CBD is posted under the webinar chat. You ask where was it and how to find it. It's posted over on the right. And the only difference in the CBD is our 601 is the only CBD in the world I know of that is intensive enough for 2 people for a month. So you can actually buy that and only buy 1 bottle for 2 people for a month, and it will last you a whole month. So it basically cuts your cost in half, even though this is the high grade CBD. The 501 is extremely intense, but for 1 person. So that's the only difference. The 601 is intense enough for 2 people for a month. If you're 1 and want to take that, that's great. That's what I take. But you can also take the 501 that is intense for 1 person. And the link to both of those is under the webinar chat. All right, Tim, another question. What amount of berberine do you take for the gut protocol?
So I take 1 berberine with my lunch and one berberine with my dinner every day. And there's a study right now, Alex, in addition to all the gut stuff that we talked about, it looks like berberine also keeps our arteries from plaquing. So helps blood sugar, helps cholesterol, helps weed out archaea. Is fabulous. But one with lunch, one with dinner, I think is perfect.
All right, Tim, another one for you. If I'd like to ask a question about the information from the last call. I did the electrolyte drink 2 days in a row, and I felt a little brain fog and fatigue in the mornings after. Was concerned that my body may not have needed the potassium, or possibly the half teaspoon of sea salt was too much sodium. What are your thoughts?
Almost impossible for that amount of sea salt to be the problem. But in some people who have low blood pressure or really low hypotensive blood pressure, potassium is a vasodilator. And so we could take somebody's blood pressure lower, and it would be hard for them to get going. So in that unique circumstance, I would probably carefully measure that cream of tartar in there and probably cut it directly in half. And I bet you that solves that equation.
All right. Someone else asked for the 501 and 601 CBD, do you take a different amount or the same amount? No, you take a half a dropper full of either one. It's just one is more potent than the other. The 601, again, extremely potent, enough for 2 people for a month. 501, very potent for one. I do the 601 for one, but you don't have to do that. You can. By the way, Hope, my wife, is a 1%er, is what we call them. She reacts in a different way than almost everybody does to everything. When she first started taking CBD, the recommended dosage, it gave her a headache. So she had to start with 1 drop. And over a while, she built up from 1 drop to now she's taking a normal dose, and her health has gotten better and better and better as well. So if you get the CBD and you have a headache or something like that, just start at 1 drop and increase it every day. And then if you get a headache, drop back to the day before's drops, and that should be fine. All right. So, but CBD is all natural, organic. It's not going to hurt you. You'll see in the studies, they've given people massive doses every day of CBD with no injury. Okay. And read those for yourself. And I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying my recommendation is to follow the dosage on the bottle, but just letting you know that for fact. But I would read through those studies for yourself. And Tim, someone asked, what about work if they check for drugs? That's just something you're going to need to ask them at work. All right. In fact, what I would do is I would take the bottle into work and say, I just want you to know I'm taking CBD now for my health. If this kicks in any red flags or whatever, I wanted you to know in advance. All right. That is extremely rare. Okay. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very rare. But I'll tell them in advance, I'm taking CBD.
That test tests for THC. Does your
ours has 0 THC?
Okay.
Yeah, 0 THC. None. Okay, Tim, it's 7:30 and I'm done. Any last remarks from you?
Brother, I'm done as well. And I always tell everybody we're here till they're not. Did we get all the questions answered?
We got all the questions answered, and the links for everything we talked about are in the chat, and they'll also be posted with the replay. All of our exhibits that we were going to show you that we didn't, they'll be there as well. I apologize for that. We're going to try to have that straightened out next week. We thought we had it straightened out this week, but No, that's it for me, Tim. So
Alex, that's my fault. My apologies, everybody. We'll get that
it's not
straight.
your fault. No, it's
Hey,
not.
hey, I can handle the clinical nutrition. I just can't handle the webinar. But I got a crash course on that the other day, and apparently we missed a piece there. But we'll get it. And so, Alex, would you like to tell them and preview what we're doing next week?
Go ahead.
Well, you got a sexier take on it than I do. You go ahead.
Next week. What do you think, guys? What do you think we're doing next week? Tim, let's let it be a surprise.
Well, okay.
If you want to share it.
Let me give one hint.
Okay.
So, guys, if you ever wanted to know what the biggest tow truck to pull toxicity out of your body is, we're going to share that with you next week. Is that a fair cliffhanger?
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Okay, and look forward to it. And Alex, appreciate you, man, and I appreciate your contributions. And I look forward to us doing it again next week.
Yeah, and everybody, the last word from me, acid reflux is one of the biggest problems on planet Earth. There are millions and millions. That's why you see all these Prilosec and acid and Pepsid commercials everywhere on TV. Those commercials are super expensive. Why are they still making billions of dollars? Because so many people suffer from it. You should not suffer from it anymore. If you'll do what we shared with you tonight, just like me 25 years ago, you can never deal with this again. Love you guys. Have a great week. Thank you. See you next week.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.